Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and Freddie Prinze Jr. is under some fire today. People are talking about him because of an epic rant that he made about Star Wars fans, more about the toxic side of the fandom, which I do think doesn't get called out enough. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't think it gets called out enough for some of the things that they say that don't make a lot of sense at this point. Like, I think business decision wise and some storytelling decisions absolutely deserve to be called out. But there are some things I've seen that make me just want to like run my head through a wall because it doesn't make like any bit of sense whatsoever. Anyway, so Freddie Prinze Jr. here. We're gonna watch this because you guys got to hear it. By the way, they're swearing. So if you have small children in the room, which apparently some of you guys actually watch me in front of children, which I don't know why. I swear myself and make lewd, crude humor, but hey, to each their own. Anyway, this is the rant.
I did a Star Wars cartoon, so even I get hate from Star Wars fans when I'm like, look, dog, you're just mad the franchise isn't aging with you.
Right.
But that ain't how it works. The first one was for fucking kids.
Right. Yep.
The second three were for different fucking kids. And this one is for kids. You just pissed off that Han Solo gave the fucking Millennium Falcon to a girl.
Yeah.
That's it. Because Luke Skywalker's Cinderella. Or Sleeping Beauty,
Yeah.
okay? He can talk to things that don't speak English and understands what they're fucking saying.
Yeah.
He gets a fairy godfather instead of a fairy godmother who teaches him how to be the best Jedi in the world in no time fucking flat. And everybody, like, I know more about the Force than most people because Dave Filoni taught me and George Lucas taught him. And all these video games have fucked people up on what the Force is. Like, Luke's skill doesn't dictate whether he wins or loses.
Right.
The Emperor doesn't dictate whether he wins or loses. The Force dictates who wins or loses based on balance. And here's the quick version on how to explain it to all these people who fucking think they get to decide. In the first if you want to do this like time-wise, Palpatine, you would say, and Yoda are the smartest two. Palpatine clearly smarter because Yoda was blind to the power of the dark side and the seduction of Anakin. So let's talk about the seduction of Anakin fucking Skywalker for a second. If the Emperor is the smartest dude in the universe and knows that the Force dictates this, if he kills who he sees as a rival, Anakin, then he knows the Force is just going to fucking correct that because the Emperor knows this. These are George Lucas's words, not mine. So fuck you if you disagree with me. Straight up, this is information, not affirmation time. Straight up, man. So the Emperor knows that. So instead of killing Anakin, what does he do? He seduces Anakin to double the strength of the dark side. So then what does the Force do?
Balance.
It balances us. How? It gives us twins, Luke and Leia, 2 and fucking 2. Balance. And if you look at the movie through just that simple perspective, you will not only know why every single bad guy loses and every single good guy loses, you'll know who's going to win and lose in the next fucking movies. I can tell you, I just don't want to wreck it. People bitch about the dumbest shit like it's archetype characters. This is George Lucas's words. There is no Jack Bauer in Star Wars. That character doesn't exist. It's not Han Solo. Han Solo's a reluctant hero, okay? He's a reluctant hero. That's the archetype. Darth Maul, who everybody wants to win, and he's everyone's favorite because he looks sick and he's great in the video games.
Does look cool.
Fuck you guys. He's Sisyphus. He is born to fail. Learn your Greek mythology like, I don't know, George fucking Lucas did. He's cursed to roll a boulder up the hill only to have it roll to the bottom again every single time for eternity.
Yes.
That is Darth Maul's quest.
Yes.
He's in on the joke, you guys. He knows it. He's just cursed to live that life. Again, not my opinion, George Lucas's. So go fuck yourself if you disagree. You don't get to level up in the Star Wars world. That's a fucking video game. There's no such thing as a gray Jedi. Qui-Gon even says, I turn towards the light because it's there. There's no gray. That's pretend fan fiction shit, which is cool, but don't try to canonize it because it doesn't work. And I'm never going to buy it ever. Star Wars is for fucking kids. Sorry. I'm sorry, man.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so Star Wars is for kids. Okay, that's a hell of a rant right there. And I know so many people are going to be mad at him for this one. So many people on YouTube are going to take this as an attack on the fans who don't like where things are. And the truth of the matter is, he makes some very good points. He does. He makes some insanely good points in that entire rant. For one, yeah, this dude is like one person removed away from George Lucas, having worked to 4 seasons on Rebels. Probably so solid with Dave Filoni. He mentions him by name. He's like, look, Filoni taught me Star Wars and Lucas taught him Star Wars. So if we're talking about the fact that generational information is passed down, or information is passed down generation by generation, which is entirely a theme in Star Wars, I would argue that, yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. has a solid understanding of damn Star Wars, right? He has a solid understanding of Star Wars at this point in time. So I think he gets it more than a lot of people do. Now, is it for kids? It is for kids. And I'm fine with that. It says I'm 37. Yeah, I'm 37, right? I think, yeah, I got a few more months left. I got like a whole bunch of crap on my wall, you know? Like, there's that rug I was talking about the other day. You know, I'm a fan. I'm cool with that. It is for kids. It's going to be meat from it is for the inner child in me, and I'm okay with that. I just want it to be good. And then, you know, Rebels was good. The Force Awakens was fine. Rogue One was amazing. Solo was great. I love Solo. There's a lot of good in Star Wars still, but there are a lot of people out there that I think fundamentally lose the plot. And it's then they talk about it. And maybe they just, it's just not their expectations. And then, you know, the rest of us have to deal with it. Because the people that this particular screed is aimed at are the kind of people that like you'll meet in comment sections that, you know, are just like wrong. And you're like, but where the hell did you get this information from? And then they tell you and you're like, oh yeah, no, I get it. Because he does have a better, more fundamental understanding of Star Wars than the rest of us do. I like that he called out the Great Jedi thing. I mean, I get like that's gonna make Den of Nerds, I think, cry a little bit, because he wanted to start the Great Jedi Order, which is something I still think is a great thing. Talk openly and positively about Star Wars. He's a good guy. If you haven't seen his stuff, go check it out. But no, I think that, you know, this rant is something that a lot of people I think need to hear. I think they need to hear swear words and everything. They need to hear this, because ultimately, he has more insight, more knowledge about the workings of Lucas and where Lucas was going with things. Now, on the other part of that one, on the other side of that, because I have to be fair here. I have to be fair. This is Lucas's Star Wars that he is referring to, not Disney Star Wars. And that is where the argument, that is where the deflection, instead of listening to what he's saying, is going to come from. It's that. And that's a valid point to make. I'm not going to lie. But I still think that the fact that, you know, Caden in Star Wars Rebels was under Disney Star Wars, it was the first animated thing under Filoni, still has, you know, I mean, there's a lot going on with that. And like I pointed out yesterday, my Kathleen Kennedy video, Filoni created Star Wars Resistance, which is now entering its second and final season. You've got The Mandalorian, Filoni's heavily involved with. You've got Clone Wars Season 7, Filoni. Filoni gets brought up here. Filoni gets brought up because that dude gets Star Wars. Everyone who's a fan will go, Filoni gets Star Wars. And so if this man, Freddie Prinze Jr., goes on a rant and he brings up Filoni, there's a good chance he knows what he's talking about. There's a good chance he knows it. Now, I think the conversation around this will be fascinating because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Again, I think that we could have a conversation about where Star Wars is without it resorting to just outright insults, although that ain't going to happen in the comment section. Not one bit, not by a mile. But I am curious to know your guys' thoughts, your guys' opinions about this, and I will talk to you about it all later on. Be sure to leave a comment below. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and type in Rebels into the chat so I know. Leave a like while you're at it, or a dislike. It's all good, baby. It's all good. And I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.